Yesterday we have started our pulley system. Under this pulley system, we have to consider four different cases. Four different cases. The first study case number one we have discussed yesterday, and how to find out how to find out the common acceleration and the tension. That is the question. Here we know that even though this M1 and M2 are connected, in both sides of the pulley we do have only one tension. Tension dia magkagligani na iko. Why do we have only one tension? Because we cannot have two different tension in a given single string. String amma darne one single string da we cannot have two tension. In one string we must have only one tension. Tension na magkagligani. Ya iko. Ya ready? We have the tension D on this side, and this same tension will be also again developed over the left hand side. Now how to represent your common acceleration according to this diagram? Given diagram sigma 2 we know that your M2 is heavier than that of M1. That is why M2 is moving downward. According to our law of motion, heavier object will be moving downward and the lighter object will be moving upward with the common acceleration. The speed with which M2 is descending will be equal to the speed with which M1 is ascending. M1 is the mathematical M2 is the mathematical speed set. Just like a bucket and the rope in the well. Well naman na bucket ka o kanusi ka nangi turi do yang mo sa manadro. Hangi ko yan siya. Sida gumna gipsang mo sida takot gipsang mo managane. Very simple. So we have to find out your common acceleration for both M1 and M2 and tension T2. This is the two main criteria that we have to find out for this specific pulley system. Yaraniko, what are the points that you have to remember for a pulley system? For a pulley system, the main criteria said without mention also you have to remember that like you say pulley ko said this pulley said pulley must be frictionless. Must be frictionless. Must be frictionless. Aduga next number 2 na kailangan string si kayo gani as usual the string must be massless as well as it should be inextensible. It should be massless and inextensible. Massless or inextensible. Massless we can use the word light also. It should be light and inextensible. It should be massless and inextensible. What will remain the same meaning. Now tell me how to write our how to write the shortcut formula for common acceleration. The motion, the entire motion will be due to your mass difference. Mass difference motion the entire motion is caused due to the difference in the mass of M1 and M2. And from this given diagram, we know that M2 is greater than M1. M2 is na M1 greater over. Heavier object will be descending and lighter object will be ascending upward. Yaiko, which mass is responsible for the production of motion? M2. Natra, the M2 minus which mass will oppose or will hang or will oppose the downward motion of M2. M2 is the downward the oppose in opposite direction. M1 is opposed to this is downward, this is upward la oppose M1 is opposed the motion is restricted by the weight of your M1. M1 is restricted we go. This is the minus M1. The mass responsible for the motion minus the mass that is opposing the motion multiplied with your acceleration due to gravity divided by total mass that is M1 plus M2. This is how we represent our common acceleration in a pulley system. Very simple logic how to represent or how to write your common acceleration. Common acceleration is in your numerator you must consider the mass responsible for the motion minus the mass that is opposing the motion divided by total mass into acceleration due to gravity. Yaradra? Shortcut trick sekhangani ko. If we go through the free body diagram, see kamaina taraino is a tak taragadi. We are going to consider separately M2, M1. It will be very long process. Okay. Rather, you should remember the shortcut trick. How to remember the shortcut trick? Next tension T is a combine high. Your theoretical point of view the formula point of view combine high. This is twice M1 M2 divided by M1 plus M2 in the like this is direct formula Nico. You can skip this direct formula, then skip the way combine event. This tension T can be easily calculated by knowing our common acceleration. If you find out your common acceleration, then tension is very easy. Tension can be calculated in one single step by taking our common concept that any object that is moving upward, M2, see M2 this is moving downward. M2 will be acted upon by M2G and this is tension T. If we consider only the motion of M2 की motion is considered M2 is descending downward, and we know that any object that is descending downward will have decrease in the weight. By weight to decrease to makada aina thabi mo pare rope om parega. If I drop something by holding a rope, then I feel lighter. Mag weight to light ko. I drop the object to be weight to feel the I feel the decreased weight of the object which I am sliding down. Understood to very simple. If we consider for the M2 this is moving downward. Moving downward, very simple. We have M2 and this is G minus A, common acceleration. We have discussed in the beginning of our equation of motion. Decrease mass multiplied with decrease in the acceleration. Mass weight the decrease the decrease in the weight is due to decrease in the net acceleration. Therefore, G must be subtracted by common acceleration. A is subtracted. We get the concept. Understood? Next, this same expression can also be obtained by taking your M1 simuloro. See diagram this diagram will be known as free body diagram. And separately, when I those who want to know in detail, then you keep this as your side note. Let it be. Free body diagram we draw the mass separately along with their respective forces acting on it. Here, according to our given diagram, we have two different forces, M2G and the tension T. And which one will be more? M2G will be more because the entire motion in the downward direction. One is pulling up, one is pulling down. If the body is to move in the downward direction, that means downward direction force must be greater than the upward force. Okay? And this is M2G minus tension T. The difference between the two force will be also a force that will be expressed by M2. So M2A. This one is transferred to grow. We have this M2. This is transferred again over here. G minus A and T transfer over here. We have this tension T. We obtain this direct result. Understand what is free body diagram? Free body diagram is diagrammatic representation of any object along with the different type of forces that acts on it. Consider we draw the free body diagram for your M2, free body diagram for M1, and solving the two equations we obtain this. But it will be very long process, so we rather memorize our shortcut trick. Shortcut trick se memorize next time we have M1 we have this M1 M1 is acting or M1 is descending upward. With the common acceleration A. Very simple, tension T will be equal to it will be m to m1, this is g plus a. Any object that is moving upward will have an increase in the weight. Weight increase overall. When we pull off anything, it feels very heavy. Heavy weight na? Because the actual weight is increased by ma factor. Magi ma factor is na mg le g plus am la pro. Acceleration increase with na. Due to the net increase in the acceleration, we feel heavier when we pull off anything. Heavy feel weight. Yareko. Next for our evaluation, for our calculation point of view, this is not done yesterday. What will be the tension? What will be the tension on the anchor? Anchor I did a draw. Hook I did a draw. Anchor not hook still. This is tension D, this is tension D. That means tension on the anchor not this will be 2 times D. On both sides, what is the tension? I see very simple logic. You are holding 2 buckets on either side of your hand, and you will be holding 2 kg, 2 kg. Some another. Understand the so the weight, so the tension, that will be both these tension will be supported by your anchoring tension. Sigi weight set pen this moving pen sigi my anchor this anchor will hold the entire weight of this pen. Sigi entire weight man hold over M1, M2, T1, T2, M1, M1, M2. We have respective TT on either side. And you the TT the tension on the anchor will be 2 times the tension on either side of the pulley. Yadra, understand the one me? Sikage, Sibo clear and understand the record. Yare, let us extend this concept over one vertical and one horizontal. And I say, no, you come out the idea of throwing it intentionally now one vertical, one horizontal. And I say, this is very important, and provided that all this consideration is with respect to smooth surface for the friction considered to value. Friction considered to value, we will change the equation. Equation change the yeah, we consider every surface to be smooth in the node. Now, very simple. According to Newton's star law, we have M1, M2. What are the forces that acts on this M1? M1, the actual forces, force will be now. Action and reaction of the I put a pen on my hand. I hands the pen Amathabedra. My hands it will fall down. Makata Tadinatra. Adudi, simple logic when it the weight is supported by my hand. I hands the support of the throw. Mag weight to the CI Masam Tagidana. Support that means I am bearing the weight of this pen. Pen zigi weight saying the bear in the throw. Understand that means here M1 is kept on a smooth surface. Smooth horizontal surface of the market. If any 2 objects are in contact, remember this is very important point. Day before yesterday we have completed contact forces. Contact forces if any 2 objects are in contact with one another, we must have an action and direction. Action direction the lakani hagibra. Laki contact later the action direction and hagibniko. This is your M1, this is your M2 in a login control. We have action, reaction, contact surface break later we have action and reaction. Therefore, your M1 is kept on the smooth horizontal surface layer. We will be having weight weight is always vertically downward. M1 see makale. Aduga magisida kailani say we will have another reaction R. according to Newton's third law. Newton's third law की मतलब इन्हें दी the contact लेता है action reaction लाइक ना just like that सी M1 सी जो action reaction ला परा like क्या ताऊ रखो understand ताऊ ngami ये नज़र से can we have this R is equal to M1G? Do you understand this concept or not? R का आई सी टेबल मथक तक थमी बम कनो से मोबाइल फोन से वो माँ मथंदा मथक तक सच किबरा जंप तौर प्रो नत्रगा मखा दा डिप्रेस तौरगा चंगन गिबरा ने चंगन दे it will always remain on the surface तक लेबरा. That means neither the downward force nor the upward force exit one another. Amana madagi hendeva. They are equal. Equal oi bro, bro. Action and the little third law. I think no. Action and the reaction must be equal. Equal oi bro. That is in equilibrium condition. So your weight M1G is cancelled by the normal reaction produced by surface in contact. Yare ko. Sidadi magi reaction lai bro ne. Hanging gas the particle the reaction like bro like that because no surface is in contact with M1 or M2. However, in our one particle one particle case, your M1 say M1 is in contact with this horizontal smooth surface. Horizontal smooth surface का contact ले रमीना the weight of this horizontal object is neutralized by the reaction produced by the surface. Surface ना produce तो एक मागी reaction से ना weight तो support तो उगरे क्या तारे को now कोई नंगला इसी में उतारे weight से दी मागी we नंगी M1G has no role to play मागी play अब तो लेकर है मरम दिखे ना this is neutralized by the Norman reaction से neutralized तो उगरे क्या तारे को अदु दी मागी role अब तो लेकर मीना how to write a work now बस है common acceleration. This is the point to be considered. Karana motion thrown gini. Which one is the hanging object? M2 natra. The M2 will try to drag down M1. M1 se drag down to no hana ganeva. Aduna still is M2 ma high draw. Minus, is there any mass that oppose the motion? Like ko. Magi weight to the kaya see M1 see the M1 is already neutralized. Magi is surface smooth होई बनी ना ने कई बता रहे से M2 will be sliding down and M1 will be sliding in the right hand side without any resistance, without any opposition. Do you understand the concept or not? See, come over go. Ado ita very simple होई ना M20 divided by this is M1 plus M2 into G. Do you understand the concept? We extend this formula over here. See formula do the extender of panel. What is the mass responsible for the production of motion? M2 is moving downward with common acceleration. M1 is sliding over the right hand side with common acceleration A. M1 is slightly downward. However, the motion of M1 is very free. Is without any opposition. M1 is mana slide over. See surface is smooth in the color. See surface is smooth in the color. I need a thread of bind or wind or color zeba. Sida stone no matter make color zeba. Stone jig we are this will be sliding without any opposition. Do you understand? Yantaiko? Very simple way now. What is the mass that is responsible for the production of motion? M2, that is the hanging mass. Hanging mass is responsible for the motion. And is there any opposition to the motion? No. Why? Because the horizontal mass it is being neutralized by the surface. Surface is neutralized to Pukra. Aduna Kamani Igani M2 minus 0 divided by M1 plus responsible minus there is no opposition 0. Yandareko into G divided by total mass finish. Yaratro? Yarek. Now next up how to find out the tension T? My tension T is to find out very simple. Nang tension T you don't have to memorize this direct formula memorize to you have to go through ascending or descending mass this M1 is it ascending or descending? No. Ascending to not descending to not na. This is simply the moving of the object in the right hand direction or in the horizontal direction. So we avoid applying our tension T. Tension T is avoid already. We simply find out the tension T for the hanging object. Hanging object means for vertical object the pal over. See this shortcut trick say it must be applied for your hanging object. And this is apply the way we can apply it over here also, but it will be very long. Simply for ascending ID for ascending where will be increased mass into G plus A. Finish. For descending mass into G minus A. Then this is relatively easy. Like the nako. Ludeva. Aduna sidemo. Your M2 is decreasing of natro. Descending of natro. Here this is M2 into G minus A. Finish. Understand the wrong me? Namaniko. Now see exact when the see exact formula this will be M1 M2 into G divided by M1 plus M2. Two vertical over we have 2 over here. One vertical however 1 yeah bro yeah you can directly you can by heart directly this formula or you can go through the our simpler concept decreasing increasing concept use the zero and you will obtain the same result. Yeah hangani now the last it next time here we have 2 pulleys. In first case, second case, we have 2 different pulleys. We have only 1 pulley. But in this, the left hand side, extreme left hand side, we have 2 pulley system. Pulley system how many tensions developed? How many strings? Pulley for a pulley we require 1 string. For 2 pulley we require 2 string. M1 and the M3 are connected by this first string. Next M2 and M1 are connected by this second string. We have 2 string. We will have 2 different tension. Let it be tension T1 and hello. This is also tension T1. And here this is our tension T2. This will be also again tension T2. Understood? Yeah, for for 2 string we will have 2 tension Finish. Correct? Now we will extend this same concept over here. Extend the receipt. What will be the common acceleration according to the diagram? Kamine E. Karamana above the E, Karamana downside the E. Young Mau guitar, young Mohola Rigi. This is M2. Karamana heavy organ. M2 the heavy of Natro, but M2 will be moving downward, M2 will be descending, M1 will be sliding upward. Is there any opposition to the motion by the horizontal object? Horizontal object is the motion that objection P D. We will not consider it. Horizontal leg later this is neutral. It neither support or not resist. Okay, so we have to ignore this. Horizontally ignore the way. It will move to the left hand side because left hand side is stronger than the right hand side. Right hand side is stronger. So very simple way now how to find out your common acceleration. Which mass is responsible for the motion? M2. Which mass will be opposing? Will this horizontal mass oppose the motion? No. Horizontal mass it is neutral, bro. Neutral now we left behind. Machine neutral. However, this M3 is M3 is the hanging object, just like your first case. the opposed of this canal opposed of the m3 minus m3 divided by total mass the m1 plus m2 plus m3. You cannot ignore the horizontal mass while taking the total mass. Total mass low for the horizontal do adum low go do yadra yare, and it must be multiplied with g. Finish. Understand the bro? Do you want me to repeat this again? Amtanga haisira Krishna Kanta yarani khangani ko asiga chamba na case ne ba haibdi kanana motion je create tawi heavier or not create taw natra kanana oppose tawi lighter or biduna oppose taw bro sina downward sina upward oppose ori natro sina downward sina upward sina oppose taw rek sina create taw rek motion create by m2 is opposed by your m3 opposed to grow. That is why m2 minus m3g. Yare. Mushala apni koi na tai se. Tension T1 anta hairo se haibrengi. T1 very simple. You don't have to remember this whole expression m1 m2 m3 c pa bhumi mathau ta de. You have to simply go through our logical interpretation. M3 is ascending. Mathak ta kai ko weight will be increased. Weight increase of Vinatra. Here m3 into g plus a. Finish. Yadra. And for finding out T2 is kind of this is moving downward. Maka kudare ko. So weight will be decreased. Very simple. M2 g minus a. Finish. Yadra. We will be doing what question for us. आंसर क्या आता है? तो फ्रेंड्स क्या आता है? नवीन क्या आता है? क्वेश्चन नंबर 57 की ऑप्शन से क्या आता है? मान appears the capital M ना capital M will be the mass for that person को hanging object भी हो जानी here capital मान हम इसे acceleration हम बना तो acceleration and for this given question number 57 we have one horizontal object and one vertical object, and horizontal object doesn't offer any resistance or any opposition to the motion, therefore we must have to consider only the hanging object. Hanging object to consider the capital M in minus 0 into acceleration due to gravity g divided by total mass m capital M plus small m. Finish. Option number 3. Option number 3 जो आंसर तारे को यार अदरा यारे. Next हमारा क्वेश्चन नंबर 73 की क्या ताकि 2 या हम लाए को very simple. Your hanging mass m dash into g divided by total mass horizontal mass m plus hanging mass m dash. यारे को क्वेश्चन नंबर 77 का आंसर क्या आता है? आरएस क्या आता है? 2 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर आवा. कमन एक्सेलरेशन को थोड़ा मतलब और द सिलेक्ट द व्हिच वन इज हेवियर. कर मैंने हेवियर हो क्वेश्चन नंबर 77 दा 3 kg is heavier हो मतलब the heavier mass that is 3 kg minus what is the another hanging mass 1 kg है मतलब 3 minus 1 divided by total mass that is 3 plus 6 plus 1 that is 10 हम लाकरा और 2 divided by 10 into 10 हम लाकरा. 10 is for another acceleration due to gravity. Another 10 though will be for our acceleration due to gravity. Finally, and 10 divided 10 divided by 5 we will be having 2 meter per second square. आई बहुत रसुया रनी खाली को आई मायाम यारे को से क्वेश्चन नंबर 77 जाई स्किप तौरगे यारे नाउ रा लूग दो बा केस 74 जो है गरा 74 से मैं बोल लगे भरबे लोई चक्की तार दी लोई नुआय ब्रो. क्वेश्चन नंबर 74 we have 5 kg over here. Now, you should be very clear that even though this 5 kg is more than that of 4 kg. 4 kg is now 5 kg. They have more weight now. There will be no motion. It will be totally wrong. Magi horizontal doesn't offer any resistance. Have not wrong. Otherwise, you take 10 kg, 20 kg, doesn't matter. It will be still sliding in the right hand side. Do you get the concept or not? Gyan tabro ye hari se hangani ko nang ra khalam budi ne ba asina ke or asina 4 kg ore asina ke apire asina this is magi 5 kg ore this is heavier than this, so there will be no motion either. It will be totally wrong. That consideration will be discussed in your friction ki topic tadi consider tawani ba sidadi consider tawaba khangi koi hari se. If the surface is smooth ko hego itadi irrespective of the horizontal mass, your hanging mass will be still sliding down. It may be heavier or it may be lighter. It doesn't matter. Nangi hanging object will be still sliding down. Understood tawi? Yan da bro? Hangi ko? Now mana hangi se kari kari hangi no? Acceleration what would be the acceleration in this given diagram? See the diagrams, the one vertical and one horizontal. What is the vertical mass? 4 kg. Minus, is there any opposition to the motion? By horizontal this is 4 plus 5 into g. Very simple. This will be equal to 4 by 9 into acceleration due to gravity g. Understand that? Yani ko, let it be A1 and A0. Next, see the way that this is A2. We have two vertical masses. Niko, which one is heavier? 5 kg heavier or not? It should be 5 minus your lighter, that is 4. Total mass 5 plus 4 into g. That means it will be 1 by 9 into g. Finish. Yeah. Hey, ready ko sir? Confusion of the satra. This is the fourth type of question that can be asked from our police system. Police system they hangbeaga Yemo, formula PDF number 3 tag na phato. PDF number 3 da kuna spy gani acceleration motion of an object in an inclined plane. Inclined plane nama kita anda pilih bahawa bateri sini jauh ramai ko. Sila kita yang formula number acceleration down an inclined plane sima pire ko asida pire sida formula number 20 de formula number 20. In this formula number 20 we have two different consideration. One with respect to your smooth surface on the left hand side, smooth surface and the p ko smooth plane. On the right hand side we have rough surface le ko. So we will be discussing only the rough surface for the time being. Yantai yang biro sumaina si hang tawki mamangda we have an inclined plane. Si inclined plane naman lene sida aina nga si tatriba hojik tatriba acceleration for an inclined plane se, this is not used only in this chapter. Sigi chapter ka use to na teba. This exact formula se will be used over and again in our rotatory motion da tawgani aduga oscillatory motion da tawgani. That means over 4 to 5 chapter we will be using this same formula se hanjan use tawgani. Therefore you have to by heart this sisiba pugatai ko yemo. We have theta amle rekhalasi. Theta is the angle of inclination for this smooth surface. Smooth surface ki angle of inclination theta lere. We have a mass m. Mass m lere. This is mass m. Now, what are the different forces that acts on this body of mass m? See, body of mass m the force act away. First of all, mag weight say every object will have its own weight. My weight like Nico, and weight is always acting vertically downward. Makada satpani na we will be having this is aina makada ibses minus ka ibiro. To telo na ini si complete ni ekui motana we can draw it only half the years ko, but for your better understanding mathematical calculation no understand to nabagi magta I draw complete complete only so that we have a triangle. Triangle mataraba. Triangle matara this will be 19 tareko. This will be theta or this angle will be kya tarani? This will be 90 minus theta. See understand to mo me? Yan tay ko sibukti. Therefore, mathang nang lai se kila sige surface am lay ko. The body is in contact with this inclined plane siga contact lere. Inclined plane siga contact later adi if any object is in contact with a surface sama ko contact later adi the surface will produce normal direction. Normal direction amadi compulsory produce toganeba, and that normal direction must be perpendicular to the plane, perpendicular to the surface. Surface the perpendicular ogani. Normal direction harga smiley it will be wrong. Yeah, iko ye say normal direction must be drawn must be drawn perpendicular to the surface. See surface the perpendicular will draw. Yan taiko say understand to kung ming am de ay hari say the direction produced by the surface in contact say it will be always perpendicular to the it will be always perpendicular to the surface, inclined surface, perpendicular. Sige, horizontal surface wala kana mg normal direction. Still perpendicular bra. Oi, hangani ko. You should remember that normal direction must be drawn perpendicular to the surface in contact. Perpendicular wala. Adi still ibe angle se kya hoy dino? Ai ni ek padana. Si सीधा स्माइल ऑफ को से डायग्राम से गांव में देखो डायग्राम गांव में दिसवारे मागी वेट तो सिले ब्रले तबरा सिले रेको सिगी ऑब्जेक्ट से स्माइल ना लॉक पिरो आई नहीं एक पदा मऊ का हाल लगे से you understand to mga maniko si 90 adu sida this angle will be 90 si angle se kya tani this angle will be theta am tabam thukra do you understand this one hai bedine sile me se kaino this is normal direction but this normal direction must be perpendicular to the surface oitadi this angle must be kya within 90 within a draw 90 within this is already 90 minus theta oitadi this will be theta am thukra this angle plus this angle will produce 90 produce to bineva this is 90 minus theta this is theta gyantare this is the mathematical evaluation and if you do not understand nang si khangre khalajeba in your examination ta you cannot find out the angle you forget everything loina copy garo you remove this remove to biro ko simple loina kana betare the direction khangeko normal direction and the weight always make an angle that is equivalent to angle of incline. Do you understand the concept or not? Khangeko yani se nang kaw gre khaloba if you cannot evaluate the angle between say angle se evaluate tongom de khala seba always remember that normal direction you extend normal direction they extend to zero and this is weight amo natra weight ka normal direction ka je the angle made by the weight and the normal direction will be always equal to angle of inclination. That is the simple logic. Understand tawre? Yaratra? Yareko? We are done here for finding the angle between mg ka adudi we can have mg is sida kan e lagi. Yaratra? Koi motive se logramni na we don't have to draw it completely on ek taraf are mg me arba. Yareko? Now Antang hero so kawe diko ai head ho buda ta kipse vector is very important and hai ko this is a in ecology and it makes an angle theta. Then what will be the component of a along the horizontal with which it makes angle se mai kai the component kya hoga ni will it be cos or sin direct tiraba cos hangani ko it should be a cos of theta yani ko and perpendicular component will be a sin theta. The component of a or the fraction of a along the direction with which it makes angle will be always a cos of theta. Perpendicular organa a sin of theta. Yare ko. Now sidang thing nasi we have mg libra. This weight say mg makes an angle theta along the vertical direction of your normal direction. Normal direction ki side ta kya hoga ni it will be mg cos of theta. Is there understood or not? In max an angle theta man angle je kanaga semi sigi normal direction ki side same da bro mg cos of theta. Yare ko angle same mai kai da verta di along the side with which it makes angle it should be cos component. Mg will have the component mg cos of theta along the normal direction ki direction le. Now mathang namung kana le mori perpendicular with this minus lakra see perpendicular with that we will be having this is mg this is sin of theta labra and all together how many forces are acting on this object which is lying on this inclined surface ta lariba objects ta force kya act we basically we have two different forces. Number one will be the normal direction, number two will be its own weight is say kai do tare weight is acting vertically downward by banina. Here this is resolved into two component mg cos theta which is directly opposite to the normal direction and another is mg sin theta down this inclined plane. Yareko from our diagram it is very simple that our normal direction r is neutralized by mg cos of theta while sliding down ma makha kumapum matamda faina si sliding surface ne ba inclined surface ne si inclined surface ta slide down to matamda faina jump taroga slide to ko tarokte it slide down it neither move upward or move inside manung da changi de mapan chalakte adu be yotare our normal direction must be mg cos theta na chawba taragadi if mg cos theta will be greater if mg cos theta is greater than r that means the object will be will tend to move inside the plane ji manung da chang no banani that means it is impossible with na possible with na but when slide down to matam da it neither jump upward or move inside or nina we have to consider that your normal direction is neutralized by mg cos theta so no vertical forces act on your object on mass mg da the amta force anta act taude it is acted only upon by mg sin theta is the net force and this is the force responsible for sliding down. Yan ta bro koi na inclined surface amada when we put any object on an inclined surface of the object tends to slide down. Why? Because this is being acted upon by only one unbalanced force. Unbalanced height r is balanced by pair same semi pair same r ga mg cos theta pair same ko pair same ok daba kana le hori mg sin theta le hok natro the ce unbalanced force mg sin theta is acting down the inclined plane bra aduna ni due to this component of weight there is mg sin theta the object which is kept on this inclined surface tends to slide down ma makada slide the way se mg sin theta sina maram oiraga slide out on ine yare ko now nang very simple way na this will be mg sin of theta. We know that from our Newton's second law, mass into acceleration, mm get cancel out and a will be equal to g sin of theta. See cover this is very important. Aduna niya tai se in detail the tais ko. What is the acceleration down an inclined plane? Provided that the inclined plane must be smooth or it should be g sin of theta. Magi acceleration je karada depend tawi. Is it the acceleration depend upon your mass the depend tawra tawde. That means smaller object hoigera heavier object it doesn't matter. Both small object and the bigger object will be sliding down with the same acceleration provided that the surface is smooth oibata radine ani makse same speed ta slide down tawgani yan tare angle of inclination the depend tawi ko mass the depend tawde yarani understand tawre hange aldi yarani sida yengasi. If you know this concept, we have to apply across your question 78 the apply to receive. See copy to gi ya na tawra ta nang simple way na khang do say you have to simply understand that there is only one unbalanced force mg sin theta down the inclined surface the mg sin theta got unbalanced oil, and due to this unbalanced force nang ikana your object kept on the inclined surface tends to slide down. Maka kumukta hunay. Question to what is the meaning of the given question? Question number 78. Mass sliding down hogidra natraga sliding up hogidra. This body we have two different masses, capital M and the small m. Hameko, where capital M is kept on this inclined surface with angle of inclination 30 degree. 30 degree na angle of inclination laiba surface amna thame. Small m sina this is kept on the another vertical side of the thameko. Sidedi horizontal te ko sai cover de ko horizontal the we ignore it. This is incline or we cannot ignore to where de ko. Acceleration hangira kari hangino. What is being asked? Kari hangino. We have to find out the mass of this small m. We have to find out the mass of this small m so that neither capital M nor small m is under motion. Mass is talangano. See m1 set. See m sina small m sina heavier oitadi. It will be moving downward. It will be descending. And m sina lighter oitadi. This m will be sliding upward. Oireko. If this is heavier oitadi, m capital M will be sliding down the inclined plane while your small m will be moving upward. This question here, this particular question is this capital M must be at rest, small m must be also at rest. That is the question. Natra ay paragang tang hierarchy ko. Understand to equilibrium condition must be maintained. Equilibrium habiti the body is acted upon by one or more than forces. I mean the force may have act away. Still the body is at rest. That will be known as equilibrium condition. Question policy in the figure, figure is the mass mass capital M is equal to 10 gram. 10 gram and the 10 gram is placed on an inclined plane in order to keep it at rest. Inclined plane the leriva capital M set. In order to keep this capital M at rest, what must be the value of small m that is to be connected across the vertical side. Vertical side ta connect to the small m ki value se kya tani find out tawga. Yai adu itani very simple logical na khallo ko. You don't think this to be a physics problem ni. Khan gano see legan gano matra. This is at rest, this is at rest. So you remember the hanging condition. Hanging condition is the M से rest later. This M is if the vertical object say at rest later, this will simply imply the hanging condition. Hanging condition say imply to bra. Do you understand? I has come over the bro. Man has M से move to where there. See M move to the water. There is no motion connected system or you should remember that whenever this M or this small m is under motion of the another must also follow the motion because they are connected. Understand tore? I na bus manung the phamaga bus to move to rakanda I am at rest and high tari, that will be totally wrong. Khangi ko? If capital M is moving or if small m is moving, then the another remaining mass will be also in motion. Motion the chatka do baneo. Connected motion the connected system ready. If one object is moving, then another must be also in motion. The lakadu baneva. Aduga if one body is at rest, then another body must be also at rest. Rest the leg. Is that understood or not? Yantai ko. Sina rest the leg. This must be also at rest. Question the pyramid is rest leg. This is given in the question. Question the given or whenever. This inclined object say rest later, the hanging object must be also at rest. Is that understood or not? Sikhangani, hanging likalasi. Ado itari si rest or itari, this is hanging condition, and hanging condition your tension will be exactly equal to kananga managani. Wait to manabra manadabro. Do you get the concept or not? We have already discussed this. When I discussed the hanging object, the tension will bear the weight of the hanging object. The tension T later, this will be also tension TM later, because these two objects are connected only by one string. One string we will have the same tension. Karma force ka ek tawni se mg sine of 30. Do you understand this or not? We have only one unbalanced force that is acting vertically downward, acting along the down the inclined plane. Down the inclined plane le m sin theta ko natra yaradi ko normal direction ka magi mg cos theta ki cancel chakre. Aduna we have this tension T when a lies na sina hanging sina. This is for kanagi odina se nangi part 1 question ki part 1 se part 2 sina kaiba forward inclined surface. Inclined surface ki hoina di forward inclined surface. In order to maintain our equilibrium, mg sine of 30 degree must be equal to tension T. Can you understand this step? Rest the level natro tagubuan level. Tagubuan so no winner have 30. Either side must have the same strength. Understand the here mg sine theta. This is produced by weight component produced by co, and tension T that is developed in the string must cancel one another so that it neither move upward or it neither move down. Ma mathak ta ka ngamdre matha tu pundam ngamdre chamana pum thokra manare anang hapam thokpa po tension T di kya mane tension T is exactly equal to mg ka manam natro. This is small mg mahapiro small mg. So this g and the g get cancel out and we are left with capital M into this is half. Sin 30 is half talendra. This is small m. We say 10 gram divided by 2. Small m is kya tarani? This will be equal to 5 gram. Yada? Dari. Ang record. Answer to kya tarani? 5 gram. Next time diagram section of question number 75 तो ये चलो डायग्राम दो सिम तरगा लास्ट क्वेश्चन हो सिला जी को acceleration we have to find out the acceleration since the two masses are kept with are connected with only one thread, only one string connected over we have to consider this is horizontal offer no horizontal mass offer no no opposition over acceleration will be very simple. What is the force responsible for the motion? What is the mass or what is the force? That is mg sin theta. Mg, this is sine of theta divided by total mass. Total mass will be capital M plus small m plus small m. This is minus 0, and we have this g sin theta divided by this will be our answer. Understand the order one thing same logic nearby na police. We apply the same concept of finding acceleration shortcut. What is the force responsible for the motion? The only unbalanced force will be mg sin theta. Here very simple your mg will be cancelled out by normal direction. So we consider that your horizontal force doesn't offer any opposition. Opposition at the aduna since all are connected. Very simple. What is the only unbalanced force? Mg sin theta. And what about your horizontal mass? Horizontal mass ki weight city. The weight of horizontal mass is cancelled out by normal direction. Normal direction produced by the horizontal surface. Horizontal surface na laribar normal direction na cancel sakredna. So our acceleration will be. What is the force or what is the mass responsible for the motion? Mg sin theta minus kaya hoiba. Is there any opposition? Like that horizontal mass doesn't offer any resistance to the or any opposition to the motion. Therefore, it should be minus 0 divided by total mass. Total mass will be m plus m. Finish. Yaraba? Yare. Luisale jiko. Masigi. Sawade ay. Kana tore.